channel, I'm glad you're back. Today we're going to be making atole. This is going to be a Mexican atole, kind of like eggnog, but we're going to be putting a little twist. Instead of making the traditional atole with masa, we're going to be making it with Galletas Marias. It's a Mexican cookie that everyone knows, pretty much like a vanilla cookie. For this recipe, you would only be needing 7 ingredients, and they are 210 grams of Galletas Marias or any type of vanilla cookie that you want to use, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch or flour, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of sugar and a cinnamon stick, 1.5 cups of evaporated milk, or you can also use coconut milk, 8.5 cups of whole milk or 2% milk, whichever kind of milk you want to use. In a deep pot, we're going to be adding the milk. Leave about 2 cups of milk because we're going to be blending this with the rest of the galletas. Adding the cinnamon stick, covering it, and putting it into medium to low heat until steam starts to come out. We're going to remove the cinnamon stick and then we're going to blend it. Okay, so this has been boiling here for about 5 minutes, as you can see. I don't know if you can see on camera, but vapor is starting to come out, so this is starting to boil. You want to be careful and not leave it alone because the milk can rise. Since it's boiling, it can rise and it's going to spill all over your stove. So you want to move it here and then. Since this is ready, I'm going to put it to the lowest heat it can go. The cinnamon has been boiling here with the milk. We're going to remove it and we're going to blend this with the cookies. If you don't want to use a cinnamon stick, you can also use cinnamon powder instead. But I just let the cinnamon stick boil in here so it can soften up a little bit. Make sure to put your heat the lowest it can go. That way it'll give you time to blend everything else together. Or like I said, you can just use cinnamon powder and blend it all before starting this process. That way it'll give you a little bit more of a time. As you can see, the cinnamon stick is already in there. That was the cinnamon stick that was boiling with the milk. Now we're gonna add our vanilla cookies or Galletas Marias. We're gonna add the evaporated milk or the coconut milk, whichever one you want to use. The rest of the 8 cups of milk that we didn't put boiling, the cornstarch or flour, and the vanilla. Remember, if you don't want to blend the cinnamon stick, you can also use cinnamon powder. We're gonna blend this all together and then we're gonna go to the stove. This is the end result of our blender that we blended everything together. As you can see, there's still pieces of cinnamon that are in there, so I'm gonna run it through. So I'm going to run it through a sifter. But if you don't mind those cinnamon stick pieces that are in there, you can leave it like that. We have not added anything else into our milk. Once you add this next step, you cannot move away from your stove or else it's going to stick to the bottom. Remember, you just want to be next to your stove, moving it up and down, side to side. We're going to run it through this. This is what we're trying to avoid getting into our atole. But if you don't mind this being in your atole, you can totally leave it in there. I've seen some people whose blender blend things much better than mine. So if yours is one of those blenders, this is not going to be an issue for you. Or you can just use cinnamon powder like I said. After we had added that into our milk, we cannot move from the stove. We're just going to run it up and down, up and down. If you have a spatula, it's much better. That way you can cover most of the bottom and it'll be easier for you. At this point, you can bring your heat a little bit higher. I want to say medium to low heat. If you feel like you don't trust yourself in leaving it here, or if it's your first time making atole or anything like this, you want to leave it on low heat. That way it'll give you some time and it won't stick to your pan. But if you have done this before, you know exactly what heat you should put it on. Medium to low heat. Just remember to not move away from your stove and just keep stirring up and down for about 10 to 15 minutes or until this starts to thicken up. Okay, so this has been here for about 8 minutes. The consistency has already changed. It's a little bit more thicker. I have not stopped moving it, and with the help of a spatula, this is really helping. It's really removing everything from the bottom. At this time, we're gonna add the sugar. Make sure you taste your atole first so you won't add a lot of sugar. And then the sugar is gonna depend on how sweet you want it. If you want it really sweet, then go ahead and add a lot of sugar. If you don't want it too sweet, just a little bit of sugar. After about 15 minutes about this atole being on the heat, it's ready to go. It was about 5 minutes for the milk to boil, to steam up, and about 10 minutes with everything already in there. It's an easy, simple atole that you can make within a few minutes. It's a very delicious atole. Anybody can make this atole. You guys can turn off the heat at this time once you see that it starts to thicken up. Once it starts to thicken up, keep moving it for another 3 to 4 minutes just to make sure it thickens up the way you wanted it to. If you don't want it too thick, you can add more milk. I'm gonna leave mine the way it is. If you like today's video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to be part of our family. To Casey, I want to say thank you for requesting this recipe. You wanted it a hot drink for this cold weather, for this winter weather. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe and share with your friends if you liked it. Comment down below what other recipes you would want me to make next. Or you can send me a direct message on Instagram. You can also tag me on a recipe if you already made it. I hope this drink keeps you guys warm, and we'll see you on the next time. Bye!